If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can wait and not be tired by waiting, or being lied about, don't deal in lies, or being hated, don't give way to hating, and yet don't look too good nor look too wise. If you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can think and not make thoughts your aim, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, if you can hear the truth you've spoken twisted by knaves to make a trap for fools, or watch the things you gave your life for broken, and stoop and build them up with worn-out tools. If you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss, and lose and start again at the beginning, and never breathe a word about your loss. If you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. If you can talk with crowds and keep your virtue, or walk with kings nor lose the common touch, if neither foes nor loving friends can hurt you, if all men count with you, but none too much, if you can fill the unforgiving minute with 40 seconds worth of distance run, yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
me happy. No more kissing ass, no more being an outcast. Oh, I don't care no more, I swear. Happy, I'll only do what aligns with me. I'm living my own dynasty. Oh, I don't care no more, I swear.
Start of a new beginning. Time has come to refine yourself and let go of the demons in your head that have held you in captivity for so long. It's time to flip the page and prove them wrong. It's time for rebirth. Yeah, time's up to say goodbye to all the haters, doubters, and non-believers trying to bring you down. In the blink of an eye, you'll realize that there's so much more to the book than the page you were stuck on. Finally, you will feel free to live a life you love living instead of the life you think other people want you to live. Remember, you are the highest authority when it comes to knowing what you want and what you love. So stop trading yourself for the approval from others. Ladies and gentlemen, weirdos and geeks, please repeat after me. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a I don't give a fuck. 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 It's time to start doing the right thing. So trust your instincts, stop listening to others, and own your decisions. People will always tell you what to do, opinion and how to live. So let's create space for what matters most to you. You'll be glad you did. Now start claiming your time and your mental well-being by saying no more. No more. Say it loudly and proudly. In other words, fuck you. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Target acquired.
Eagle 1, first strike, you have permission to engage the target.
Warning, the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
And welcome, folks. How are you today? Welcome to the show. We are back once again. See a bunch of the usual suspects out in the chat. Red Blackridge. I've seen you here a couple of times. That's pretty cool. I'm not really sure how to pronounce Kokoshuko Papa Shango. I hope I got close. Welcome, guys. Welcome, guys. I see Mr. Boulay out there. I see Stepfire out there. You guys are going to get it going on today. So What a weekend. What a weekend. What a week we've had last week in the presidential race and a lot of other venues as well. It's an interesting thing. Everyone was really kind of focused on the Andrew and Destiny debate last week, as well you should have been, because it was awesome. I've actually listened to it a couple of times now. Just gets better with every replaying. Welcome to Wills. I see you there. I see you there. Absolutely. See you. All right. So I'm not sure Kat's going to make it today. I think our dad is ill. She is tending to him as a good daughter should. And we support her in those efforts. We may or may not have some guests wander through. That is up to them. I have sent out invites. They're welcome to come in. If I skip somebody's invite, it wasn't on purpose. I was a little bit rushed getting ready today, which is normal on Mondays because I have a lot going on. And I've been messing with my studio yet again. Never ends. I'm always playing with it. So, it's good. Overall, I'm doing very well today, and I hope that you are as well. I hope that you are having a great day, and will continue to have a great day. I have not seen anything from last night. Last night, I was what was that? I don't even remember so yesterday I dropped my son off at space camp. My wife. And both my sons drove down. My 3-year-old had to go see, the Space Center there. We did a planetarium thing, which was awesome. And I had a great time, actually. It was a lot of fun. Didn't get back until kind of late last night. And to be honest with you, I ate my dinner. I read a little bit and I went to bed. That's what I did. I didn't watch. I have not seen a single minute of whatever from last night. I not intentionally. I actually wanted to stop and watch some. I just couldn't do it. Couldn't do it last night. It was absolute insanity. I believe that Andrew was on live last night, which is one of the reasons why I really wanted to see it, but I just wasn't able to. And wish I had, though. I will check it out. If somebody's got some clips, if they want to get those clips to a mod, or links to clips to Mr. Boulay, either through Discord or wherever, I will be glad to check those clips out. Send me something good, guys. Welcome, Michelle. I see you there. Nick Ga, I see you there. I always have to pause there because if you just roll it off the tongue, it sounds like something that could get me in trouble. I like it, though. Good deal. Again, welcome, Michelle. Glad to see you out there today. And, of course, the robot WMD is out there. Don't let him get you, folks. He has no sense of humor whatsoever. Well, hi, Les. How are you? I'm not glad to see you. I hope this is a good one today. It's going to be a little bit more political and financial today than anything else. If I have to predict, although hopefully we have some guests wander through, and if they do, then we will talk about some other good stuff. Like whatever. And if somebody sends in whatever clips, we will talk about whatever. Absolutely 100%. I just haven't seen it. I can't fast forward through anything, but if you guys want to send some clips, that would be great. Politically, there's a lot of stuff going on out there, guys. It is crazy town. It might be just about the most ridiculous election cycle I think I've ever seen. The only thing we don't have right now is Godzilla in San Francisco Bay. If somebody sees a giant, massive Godzilla-like creature coming through San Francisco Bay, I will not be surprised. And that's great. Yeah, I knew about Debate University. I knew about the modules coming together. I didn't know that Andrew and Brian were partnering up on that, but that makes total sense for both of them to do that, and that's great. That is very good for them, and I'll be glad to support that. Yeah, I haven't watched any of the stream from last night, guys. I apologize. I again had a long day yesterday, and I went to bed pretty much as soon as I had dinner. I read a little bit, and I went to bed. That's what I did. So, but yeah, I don't have Godzilla on my checked on my betting card. But if Godzilla appears in San Francisco Bay, somebody let me know because it will be pretty good. Yes, it should look very professional. Fitzy. It should. Andrew's been working really, really hard on it. I've talked to him about it a couple of times just in passing. And basically, he would just comment that he's just super busy working on this and it's going to be awesome. And since Andrew seems to excel at everything he does, I had no doubt that it was going to be absolutely awesome. So glad to hear that other people think so too. What's up, Rip? I see you out there, brother. Good to see you. Glad to have you in the chat. So again, the election cycle so far has been absolutely bonkers. It's getting more and more off the rails every single day. Now we have Kamala. I'm really not even sure how to like phrase this or whatever, but it looks like Kamala has been on video where there's some altered video where Kamala was violating the Twitter policies and got caught. Welcome, Andrew. How are you, sir?
Tired.
I bet. I heard it went to 3 or 4 in the morning.
Yep. And plus, I'm jet lagged, so it's like It's like a double whammy. So
you're on Central Standard Time, right? Normally.
No, I'm on Eastern Time.
Oh, you are on Eastern Time. Oh, interesting.
Yeah. Right now, in California, that's
a 3-hour difference.
Yeah, 3-hour difference, correct.
Yeah. Wow.
Yep.
Yeah, so I heard I didn't get to watch any of the show last night. I heard the show was just absolutely nuts last night, and it was
So you missed the announcement for Debate University, bro?
I did miss, but I knew that you were doing. I didn't know that you and Brian were doing it, but I knew that you had that going on. You've talked about the modules a couple of times when we've talked, and and all of the work you've put into it. Since everything you do seems to be very excellent and well thought out, I have absolutely no doubt that it is absolutely professional. And
super awesome. Well, all of them are super high quality, and in more ways than one. Not just high quality video and high quality audio, but high quality information, right?
Yes, absolutely. I would expect. So my only question is, did you send Destiny a free membership?
No, he's going to have to pay like everybody else.
He has to pay like everybody else. Absolutely. That's awesome. That's awesome. And
he's rich.
Maybe I'll send him one maybe I'll send him one because he got his ass handed to him so many times lately. And he probably needs to do something if he's going to maintain his
well, this is like title. I think we got day 4 of DGG Cope going still. I think we're now on to day 4. They're just seething about this fucking debate. It's really funny, dude.
The problem is that all right, so when he lost to Ben Shapiro, he could just put that down to, well, I didn't have, I was just out of my element. It wasn't really what I was doing. When Jordan Peterson lit his ass up, Peterson's not even a debater, and he lit his ass up. He was like, well, we weren't really debating, but with you, there's like no hiding. There's no stone there that he can except, Andrew really didn't answer the debate prompt. But then, of course, you have since put out that he's actually used the exact same method himself. It's amazing, Andrew. Honestly, it's great to see the work that you do, man. To be honest with you, it was a lot of fun. I listened to it again driving down to Huntsville yesterday to drop my son off for the Aviation Challenge at Space Camp.
Oh, nice, man. Well, I hope he has a good time.
Oh, he's gonna love that shit. I'm just telling you right now, he's all about it.
You have to note that that what they'll do is they'll dissect each piece of the debate, ignoring the problems in Destiny's argumentation,
Yes.
only focusing on any perception of mine, and all that they can come up with is that I didn't give a counter definition to what a triangle is when you don't need to. So understanding that if I don't know what a triangle is, but I know what a square is, and you say to me, this thing is a triangle, but then when you draw it and describe it, it has all of the characteristics of a square. Well, then I'm going to say that you're incorrect, and it's not a triangle by your definition.
Right.
And a pretty prominent group of philosophy bros have gone on to the Coomer's channel and explained this to him ad nauseum, and he's had to now concede multiple times this is true.
Right.
Much to his chagrin, right? But I think it's fucking hilarious. So
yeah, I think you were really. I think I saw a lot of opportunities where I know that you could have just like really smoked them into the dirt, but it seemed like you just wanted to keep it really clean, really concise, and just, kind of just hammer them on those couple of points, and not check out. So I thought it was awesome. I thought it was a great debate.
Everything is set with presuppositions. Everything. So that you understand, if we presuppose that that our starting point is thing X happens, but that's a false belief, right? Then whatever worldview you build around the false belief is now irrelevant. If we can demonstrate that the core of the view is incoherent or makes no sense, right? So it's pretty simple. So you start with the pillar, right? And what you don't want to do is let them evade and move you off the pillar and to tangentials based around the assumption the pillar is true.
Yeah, absolutely. And you did an amazing job of just saying, yeah, Destiny, that's great, fine, whatever. But here, this is what we got to concentrate on. You still haven't answered it. I'm not going any further. I've already said I would concede this if you did this. You haven't done that. Let's come on, man. Let's get back to what we're actually talking about here. I don't care about one of the best parts of the whole thing was when you said speed talking over me is not helping your point. And that was fucking awesome. I literally laughed and woke my wife up on the drive down yesterday. I laughed out loud, even though it's like the third time I've heard it. It was fucking awesome. Speed talking, not going to get you out of this.
Yeah, well, it's good for him. But anyway, so yeah, I don't care about the debate with the Coomer gremlin, right? The stakes couldn't have been lower, so of course they're the most pissed off they can be.
It's so awesome to see, and the amount of support across the internet for you has been amazing. There's a guy I just kind of picked up on named him Hypnotic. And he's a gamer streamer, really, but he's been crossing over into politics for a while now. And I found him because of some of the mutual things. And he's done 2 weeks on the meltdown of Destiny, like just documenting the meltdown of Destiny. And he reviewed both. He did 2 shows, I think, but each one about 2.5, 3 hours long on the debate. Just like absolutely, shining the light on all of the points that you made. It was very good. It's a very good breakdown. Honest, bright guy. He's a bright guy.
Well, neat. Yeah, I'll take a look. How big's the channel?
175,000 subs, I think. No, pardon me. No. Wait. He's 50,000 subs. But he had a guy that was on the other night that was 175. I'm sorry. I didn't want to get my count wrong. He just hit 50,000 subs.
Well, 50,000 subs is really good.
Right. And he had 1,000 people organically, not rated or anything, 1,000 people watching live as he was breaking down your debate.
Good.
So that's pretty fucking good.
Wish him much success. But yeah, I mean the debate itself was we made it entertaining, right? But it really just kind of went around a core idea. And Yeah, they don't like when you use their tactics against them.
Yep. I think Andrew seized a little bit. He'll be back.
Call it.
You dropped a little bit there. You dropped about 15 seconds.
Are you there?
I am.
Can you hear me?
I am. Yeah. You dropped about 15 or 30 seconds. It's okay. You're back.
Yeah, when I get a phone call, it kicks me out. So anyway, so yeah, I'm just walking down to get some breakfast. But where was I? Oh yeah. I don't care. I don't want to talk about the Coomer Greenland debate.
Yeah. So how is your debate university going to work? I haven't looked into it. I didn't see anything last night about it, so I'm a raw guy.
Well, you go to the site and you can buy the course. That's it. That's how it works. If you want to become if you want to become a long-term member, you can do that too. And we'll break the concepts down further for people who want to do that.
Okay. Is this a partnership between you and Brian, or is this mostly just you, or how's it working out?
Well, I mean, the content is pretty much 100% me.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's a limited partnership engaged with whatever. Yeah.
Okay, great, awesome, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
So
I've now that I'm back and my schedule's stabilizing a little bit, I'm trying to get on with Brian, and I shouldn't say that out loud, but I tried to contact him last week on Thursday, and he was really busy. So hopefully we can get something moved forward this week.
Oh yeah, I'm sure you guys will. So what else is new? What else you guys doing?
Well, we're talking about this how crazy the election cycle's been so far, and I was just saying that if someone spotted Godzilla in San Francisco Bay, I wouldn't even be surprised at this point. It just couldn't get any more crazy than it already has, and honestly, I believe it's going to get crazier just because of the amount of money involved that only Harris can access, but nobody wants Harris for the candidate. So, yeah, we'll see how it works out. So it's going to be good. And the guys were telling me that you had a mass amount of drama on whatever last night, a lot of rage quits. You went to like 4 or 5 in the whatever it was in the morning.
Yeah, there was 4, I think, 4 rage quits. Yeah, there was 4. We ended up the show ended with only 2 girls.
Only 2 guests? Wow.
Only 2 girls. Only 2 girls left.
Wow. I'll have to watch it. I've got a few things left to do today after the show, but maybe I can get to it.
I wasn't responsible for any of it, brother. I didn't do shit.
You were the nice guy this time?
Dude, I'm totally the kindest, gentlest gentleman that you ever did see. So I had nothing to do with any of that.
Andrew I've ever seen.
Yeah, and I had nothing to do with it. Nobody can blame me.
Okay.
I mean, they still will, but
yeah.
But I had nothing to do with it. So.
Yeah. Are you following the election closely at all?
Oh yeah.
Okay. Have you seen what Elon put out about Kamala faking the ads on Twitter?
Yeah, he also showed that Google is suppressing the name Trump. So I mean, it's the same. This is kind of the same playbook, right? Yeah. I don't know why anybody would be surprised about it.
Oh, I don't know that anyone's surprised. It's just the amount of humor that you can derive from it because it's so crazy. It's so erratic. It's just nuts.
Yeah, that's pretty fucking nuts. That's for sure.
Yeah. Do you think now? Are you in the camp that believes that Kamala will be the candidate, or are you in the camp that believes that they're going to run her until the DNC and then sub her out with somebody else?
I mean, they don't have a lot of options. You know what I mean? But nothing would surprise me at this point. I was surprised that they ended up not going with Biden, to be honest.
See,
they would have stuck it out with him.
I was in that camp. I moved to that camp after kind of the debate and everybody started calling for it early, and then he said he wasn't going to step aside, I was like, you know what? They probably decided that after the assassination attempt that Trump was just too strong, and it was a low percentage chance they were going to win. So why would they burn a candidate off of their bench to lose in an election against Trump when they can just sit back and run whoever it is in 28? So I figured that they were just going to put Biden up as the sacrificial lamb. Now what I think is they're going to put I honestly think they're going to let Kamala run, and they're going to put Pete Buttigieg in as VP choice, and so they can sit. So when they lose, they can the rhetoric for the next 4 years will be to all of the independents and moderates that you are too afraid to vote for a woman of color and a gay guy, and so that they can just shame, just basically anyone who didn't vote for them that ordinarily would have.
Yeah, so, no, I think they want to win for sure. They want to.
I think they want to win. I think
they definitely want to. They definitely want to stay in power. I definitely don't think that they're going to let Trump win. So I don't think they're going to.
But Kamala is such a low percentage chance. I mean, she's pulling ahead.
She's pulling ahead in Trump in these polls now.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't know if I believe those polls, because before, when Biden was heir apparent, or it was going to be Newsom, she had a 60% disapproval rating in her own party.
Yeah, that's true.
And that's crazy. So I don't believe any of the poll numbers they're giving me now, like zero.
Trump? Yeah. Well, I mean, believe them or not, I don't think that's really relevant. But look, I'm going to go eat some breakfast.
Yeah, go eat some breakfast, man. We'll talk soon. Always glad to have you on, Andrew. Always glad to have Andrew on. Yes, that was Andrew. Andrew comes on. This is he considers this one of his chill streams. So he comes on just to kind of chill out and shoot shit. Welcome, Daria. I believe this is your first time to my channel. Welcome. Come in, get comfortable. We're gonna talk some more politics here. Welcome to all the people who came in while Andrew and I were talking. If I didn't say hello, I do so now. Welcome to the show. So yeah, to continue talking about it, I just don't believe any of the poll numbers. I'm just really not sure how we can, when just 2 weeks before she was replaced, Kamala had a 60% disapproval ratings. That means that 60% of the polled voters in her own party were thumbs down on her. And now they're trying to tell us that she has a 44% approval rating to Trump's 43 or 42 or whatever the fuck it is. I just don't honestly believe any of that shit. So if you believe it, great. I just don't believe any of the polls. I think it's really interesting what's going on with over on X right now. And if you haven't seen it, you should go look at it. So the video is a basically an edited version of it's actually an ad from Trump and JD Vance that they edited to put in Biden and Kamala, or Biden. Maybe it's just Biden. And the people over at X discovered that it violates X's policy against synthetic, manipulated, or out of context media. Okay. And actually, and I believe it also, they call it deceptive. I'm not really sure. I'm not that up on X, but even though I do have an account there and I should be streaming. But yeah, no, it's that. And Musk has said that it's a clear violation of X's policies. So, they're gonna. I don't know what they're gonna do, but Kamala could be banned from Twitter like Trump was. That would be very funny. So it's an AI generated video of Harris and Biden. So, and I think part of the problem is I think that they have the tweets from Harris about it as well. So I don't know. So it's a it's going to be interesting. So they're already starting to use AI technology to fake shit. I think it came out yesterday, Les. Mike Obama's not going to run. Okay, that's a distractor. Don't pay attention to that shit. If anybody's going to run, it won't be Mike Obama. It will be. If I were gonna guesstimate right now, I think if they really want to win, they're going to put. They're probably going to put Newsom and Booty Juice, or they could put. Yeah, I don't know. That's a tough. There's a couple of no, Daria, that wouldn't be an instant win for them. Nobody likes Mike Obama, and the problem is that Mike Obama doesn't want to run because it's a lot of scrutiny. It's a very, very, very risky thing for Big Mike to run. A lot of scrutiny. Yeah. So you're welcome for that, Les. I'm glad that I could make you laugh. Yeah. So I look, guys, I was one of the ones that thought that they would instantly change a ticket, but now I don't think they will. I just don't know. Yeah, I just don't know. Bernie would, yeah. What are they going to do? Resurrect that guy? That guy's basically got one foot in the grave. Come on. Bernie, first of all, Bernie wouldn't win. And second, Bernie wouldn't do it. I think Bernie's pissed at the DNC anyway, that they put Biden in over him. There's no way. There's no way that's going to happen. Bernie's not going to happen, guys. I'm sorry to tell you that. Moving on away from that, let's talk about some positive, cool shit. Did anybody watch Trump's speech at the Bitcoin conference here in Nashville this weekend? If you didn't watch it, his speech was actually pretty good, and basically he reiterated to all of the Bitcoin investors there that he will establish basically a national fund of crypto as part of a not really a defense budget or whatever. And so by doing that, he at least kind of legitimizes Bitcoin here in the US. Now, personally, I think that's a road to taxation. I think the Bitcoin guys are nuts if they don't see that what Trump is once again playing that massive 4D chess game, and they're stuck playing normal shit, because I see the establishment of a crypto fund basically as part of the U.S. Treasury. I see that as a road to taxation. Currently, if you don't know which a lot of people I don't think know this, raise your hands by signaling with a 1 if you knew that the United States government currently has 210,000 Bitcoins worth $14 billion. Raise your hands if you knew that. I knew that. By the way, the U.S. government didn't pay for those. That's all confiscated from drug dealers and arms traders and shit like that. we took bad things away from bad people, and now they're ours. So, if you didn't know that, now you do. So now that may help you understand a little better what the reality is. So yeah. So we have $14 billion. The U.S. government has $14 billion in Bitcoin, just sitting there. It's not doing anything. It's not making anybody any money. It's all good shit. So, personally, I think that that's going to lead to taxation of Bitcoin. We could disagree and argue about that if you want. Whatever, doesn't matter. Sorry, guys, I forgot to mute my phone again. What a dick. You know what kind of guy comes on his own show and doesn't mute his own phone? There we go. A dick. That's who does that. Anyway. So, yeah, it's gonna be a central bank digital currency. Once that happens, first of all, it becomes more legitimate to trade. It becomes more regulated. Currently, I believe that that's going to cause Bitcoin to dramatically increase in price. Short term, I think over about 2 to 3 years, though, I think we'll see it decline. And it's going to be crazy. I ducked up the entire stream with this one thing I did. Click to know more. All right, yeah. So, but Trump did a great job there. He did a better job than RFK. RFK's speech to the Bitcoin guys it made him actually sound like he was JFK from back in the fucking 70s and did no shit. So. Yeah, fucking autocorrect. I'm really tired of that. Really tired of autocorrect shirt. Got corrected. What's up, Generally Specific? Good to see you as well. But yeah, so I think what we're going to see here, guys, is I think Bitcoin short term is going to rise. It's been kind of rising anyway. My problem with Bitcoin right now is it's more of a religion than a financial asset, and or almost a religion. And the guys are, just crazy about it. So I personally, I'm lukewarm on it. It's going to be an interesting thing. Cheeks, I actually haven't had Bitcoin either. And I it's a running joke between me and my buddy Dimitri that back in the day, we could have bought 100 Bitcoin for about the cost of a pizza. I think they were worth like 25 cents each or some shit. And it's whatever. I never did Bitcoin. I didn't, and understand that Bitcoin originally was just be able to pay for things in games. And now look how far it's come. It's all grown up now. Look at it. The big boy. What a big boy. Anyway. Yeah, so I don't, and it's one of those things where I'm like, well, it's, I used to know guys that mined it and shit, and it was almost as expensive to mine it as it was to just buy it. So I was like, I'm not going to do that shit. So I'm, my problem with Bitcoin is it's not real. Like and I told him that at the Bitcoin conference the other day. I'm like, yeah, it's not real. But I think if you and look, this is the way I would handle Bitcoin. If I were somebody, just a normal human that can't just go out and spend what's Bitcoin at today? Hang on, I had that. Give me one second. I had that info. Bitcoin currently today is at $66,881.10 per coin. That's up about $6,000 this month over the course of the month. That dipped down a little bit this month, dipped about $1,000 this month, down into I think 67 was its low. Oh no. If you had bought July 8th, it was 55,854. So if you had bought July 8th in 20 days, you would have made $10,000 on Bitcoin. So that's interesting. Yeah. So anyway, if I were going to advise anyone to deal with Bitcoin right now, if you have a 401k, if you have a Roth IRA, if you have some form of retirement fund that you can choose the way the money is invested, it is worthwhile to buy percentages of Bitcoins, which you can do now. You can I don't know if Coinbase does it, but there's a couple of companies that sell Bitcoins. You can buy for like $100, $1,000, just a little tiny portion of it, which obviously if it goes up, and you get a portion of that. There's some fees and stuff involved, so it's not like you're buying a full one. But I would probably recommend if in your 401k or a Roth IRA or however, whatever retirement account you have, probably doing something like that. And I would make sure that you could convert it from Bitcoin back into I would treat it the same way I would treat gold. Like I would treat Bitcoin the same way I would gold. So I would be able to switch between gold and stocks, or stocks and gold, or a combination as things happen. 0.0001 of a Bitcoin. Yeah, it's still, honestly, you'd have money there. So, and personally, this is not a prediction. I'm not a financial advisor. Do not base decisions upon what I say. I would, if it were me, I would put in your retirement account, whichever, and only use it where you can choose how that money is invested. If you can't, don't do it. But if you can, you want to be diversified, right? You need to have X amount in stocks. You need to have X amount in commodities like gold, silver, oil, whatever. And I would put I would put some money in Bitcoin over the next 2 to 3 years. My perception is that Bitcoin should rise. It may retrace down until and I would buy on all the dips. Like if I were to do it today, I would buy on all the dips. So if I bought a half a Bitcoin today for whatever, 30 grand, and then 3 months from now it dips down to 55, I'd buy more, right, at that lower price. And so I would really do that. I think that that's a good, sound strategy, but I really believe that in about 3 years, if they especially depending on what they do between now and then, in 2 to 3 years, especially if they start taxing it, once it's taxed, like it is in other countries, Bitcoin is it's just going to stop. It's going to start dropping. Stepfire buys Bitcoin every week. Yep, absolutely. Look, I'm going to go through the chat really quick. I haven't been paying attention to chat. So don't listen to Beaten Cheeks. Beaten Cheeks is he's a special guy. Let's see. Oh, Stepfire was a miner. Yeah. All right. That's good. Yeah. Non-fungible makes you concerned. Yeah. Look, there's a lot of concerns with Bitcoin. However, especially if Trump gets elected, it's going to shoot up. So let's just say that even if you did it as a short-term strategy, if you bought today, it's down today $3,000 from yesterday, which was it was at 66 today. It was at like 63 yesterday. Let me look. 67. So it's at 67 yesterday. It's down $1,000 today. It looks like it might be on a slight downtrend right now. So I would buy on the dips. Don't try and call the bottom. Just when it's on a downtrend, just buy it. And I'd buy the dips and just ride it out the next 2 or 3 years with money that you can afford to invest. Even if you can only buy a small amount, buy it. And then if they get serious about taxing it, I'd probably get out because, hopefully you get out ahead enough. And I would probably, I don't know. There's some other trading strategies in there we can get into. But anyway, do I ever review the whatever podcast? Sometimes, usually not. There's enough people that do that, and to be honest with you, it's an 8-hour fucking program that I do. This is a 3-hour show that I mostly, and especially on a day shift, I mostly talk about politics, finance, lifestyle, that kind of thing. I don't really tend to get into whatever. On the nighttime show, I do sometimes review specific parts of the whatever podcast, but there's so many people that do it already. There's no reason for me to do it. So yes, that's true, Les. I do not generally do that. Sometimes I think I have once or twice. That's about it. I never review specific things. Gold coins are the best. Gold's been on an uptrend. I think it's risen this year. Let's see. It's up. So since 2009, or pardon me, wait. So since July, was that July? What fucking, yeah. All right. So July 2000, it was at $2,009 an ounce last July. Today, it's on a slightly uptrend at 2,427 an ounce. So in the past year, it's risen $418. So I would I don't know. I think gold's fine. It's not my preferred investment for sure. Silver to gold ratio is closing. Yeah, that's true. But silver's iffy. I know people that lost money on silver. I won't tell you what to do with your money, Cheeks. You are a grown up. I am not a financial expert. Oh, you only received a certificate of ownership? Wow. Beaten Cheeks does not drive a BMW. Beaten Cheeks doesn't own a car, effing epic. Beaten Cheeks does not own a vehicle. Beaten Cheeks also does not live in the Section 8 part of town. I don't know why he's telling people that. He's an idiot. Stepfire buys Bitcoin every week. I would agree with that. So I'm not a financial expert, Cheeks. Well, see that. So here I have two. I'm going to come back to this. I have conflicting opinions on this myself. I love it when Beaten Cheeks tries to troll me. He's so funny. Yeah, that's right. 3-hour tour. That's right. And it's on, and a lot of times I end like right at 3 hours, unless I'm having like a really ridiculous. Yeah, I think you're right about that, Mr. Boulay. Let's see. Pete Cheeks that doesn't do push-ups. He wants to do push-ups, but every time he does, a woman falls underneath him. So, don't simp. What the fuck you're talking about? Yeah. All right. So, there's two ways of looking at this. Once it's taxed, it's seen as legitimizing it, and therefore more faith into Bitcoin raises its price even more. I actually agree with that, but there's going to be a massive drop at first because most people are in Bitcoin because it is untraceable and all of this other nonsense. And once it becomes traceable, once it becomes more like, basically the same as gold and silver, then it becomes a little bit. I think the people. So all right, let me reposition this statement. The people who have pumped up Bitcoin right now, a lot of them are called, to me, not called. A lot of them to me are. It's like a religion to them, right? It's like they can't be wrong about it. It's like, it's like they're playing the real version of Chrome, right? Like it's just crazy, and I think that they've pushed this up a lot, and then of course all of the arms dealers and terrorists and whatever else that pushed it up because again it couldn't be traced, couldn't be taxed, whatever. I think long term you're right. I think that if in 2 or 3 years, midway through Trump's presidency, he gets it legitimized and it becomes taxed, you're going to have a massive drop, and that's when it's time to get out. You can get back in if it starts to trend back up, but the risk is that once it falls that far, it's will it come back? That's the problem. So I don't really know. I'm again, I don't actually follow crypto because I see it as ever changing, and therefore it's very hard to actually be up to date on it. So again, I would, I think that if you have a retirement account, if you have a retirement fund that you can manage, that it's not managed by some group through your employer or whatever, that you can go in and pick where you want money to go. I would put some money in Bitcoin starting now, like today. Go, maybe not do it today, but and do your own research. But I just think that it's going to go up. So it'll be fun, something else. It's just a matter of fact knowing who holds what wallet. If you're using a US-based trading platform, you have to KYC. Yep. No. Yep. Yeah, that's true. Real estate is your retirement. That's not a bad thing to be, as long as you don't own a bunch of debt on that retirement. But it's cool. All right, so that's the Bitcoin thing, and I've been comparing all morning, just just kind of poking around, seeing what's out there. The stock market itself is coming back. I just checked Motorola, which has been kind of trending up, but it's really up over the last year. Probably, there are stocks like that out there that you probably should look into. Probably worth a glance if you do that kind of thing. Also, I think that you can't hide Bitcoin. Well, you used to could, but you can't now. I mean, not really hide it, but to get rich. I don't know how to get rich. Look, if you want to know how you get rich, you work really fucking hard. You do smart things with your money, and then hope for the best, and then hopefully you get rich that way. But other than that, can't do it. I make you wealthy, beaten cheeks every time you watch this show because you get to see me. You gaze upon my countenance, and therefore you are enriched by it. There you go. Right? I know I'm right. So, F and Epic, Beaten Cheeks doesn't even own a vehicle. He doesn't own a BMW. He doesn't own a Kia. I think he bought his mama a Kia, a used Kia at that. That's Clover Tax got it. You get rich the same way you go broke. You take risk. All right. So anyway, all right. You'll be negative 200 in your account. That's funny. Well, the reason you're going to be negative 200 in your account in Beaten Cheeks is because your whatever woman that you owe money to will demand satisfaction. Actually, it's probably you just probably had to pay your income tax on or your property tax on your property, so you're probably angry about that. Are you an angry young man today, Beaten Cheeks? Is that what's going on? Let's see. All right. Just give. All kidding aside, Beaten Cheeks. A shout out to Beaten Cheeks because he takes care of his mom. He absolutely, all bullshit aside, it's a stand-up Chadley sort of dude that buys his mom a house, buys her a car, and takes care of her, pays for the groceries, pays for everything. Near as I can tell, he pays for everything for his mom. That's a stand-up dude taking care of his mom in her later years. So shout out to you, Cheeks. All joking aside, that's pretty fucking baller. And, and you're a good dude for doing it. Despite the fact you're a degenerate, you're still a righteous dude, for helping your mom out. That's badass. So he is a funny degen. That is correct. He is funny. Child support. Yeah. See, the thing is, I really think Cheeks is shooting blanks. I don't think there are any little Cheeks out there. There's no sub Cheeks. So, yeah. Overall prospects of the USA and financial state over the next 10, 20 years. Fuck if I know, man. There are guys that get paid cash money to figure that out, and they don't know. John Galt for $10. Thank you, sir. Appreciate that. Grid one. Can I drop the link and the Discord? I will drop the Discord if you're looking for the link to be on the show. Right now, I'm doing my monologue, so I might have some. I might have somebody. Might get some people up here in a minute, but I do that a little differently than most people. I do not normally run a panel show. I mean, I normally have guests. I don't normally run a panel show. I find it to be suboptimal for me to do that. So, but I will invite everyone to my Discord. You may come here. You are all welcome to be a part of my Discord until you misbehave, and then you will be unwelcomed. That's why we have moderators. It's just the way it works. There is the Discord. Please feel free to go and join. And then again, thank you for your $10, John Galt. That's awesome. So, yeah. Daria, I'm not particularly funny, but people laugh at me all the time. So glad that you laugh so hard during the stream. Glad to see that. It's great. where's my favorite DGen is out there. He's still hanging in today. He must not have very many meetings today. So why isn't your Rumble in my Discord? Fuck if I know. I got no idea. I barely understand how to use Rumble. Rumble's like, why would I do that? So, about to go on a meeting now. All right, cool. Cheeks, hang on to that real estate, man, especially if you got it when you want it in the description. You got to earn that shit. I don't know. I'll think about it. I think Cat's not even in there, so it was what it is. Let's see. Yeah. Cheeks is going to go into a meeting about foreclosing on his properties. Nah, I'm kidding. That's mean. He's selling shit on real estate other than my apartment in Hawaii. Yeah. Dude, why do you fucking have dude, that's got to be draining that bank account like none other. Why would you fucking, that is dumb. So I would not sell any of your real estate unless you have really high interest loans on it. I wouldn't do that. So, yeah, we'll talk about it another time. Yeah. All right, we will. We'll talk about that another time. Let's see what else financially out there is worth talking about right now today. Anybody got any questions, comments, aggravations? Well, where do I see the economy in 10, 20 years? I don't know. What I will tell you is financially, if you're not close to retirement, if you are 10, 20 years from retirement, there's a couple of things I think you need to do. The first thing I would do, depending on your earnings and earning potential, number one is I would get right out of the gate, I would get a life insurance policy. And my wife actually knows more about this than I do. My wife does more of the insurance stuff. But generically, you can, it's not cheap, but it's also not particularly expensive in the grand scheme of things. And you can divert some of your funding for your retirement into a life insurance policy that will pay you quite a bit. You can do a bunch of different things with regard to trust and setting them up. If you own a business, sometimes the trust should own the business, even in an LLC, so that, even if they pierce a corporate veil, it's owned by a trust. So who cares? They can't pierce that. There's a bunch of different things that you need to, that you can do. And I really suggest that you shop around. Do not just go to an attorney. Do not just go to an insurance guy and just say, hey, how do you do that? You can't just go to, those people, or you just can't go to just anybody and get good information. Generically, if you try, you'll lose. You've got to basically interview the accountants, lawyers, insurance people. You got to interview those guys and see who's going to have your best interest at heart and who seems qualified. I myself, a couple of years ago, we were trying to use the wealth management division of the bank that I bank with. It just would have been very convenient. However, the guy who was the wealth management guy, that would have been doing the investing and would have been growing the money in theory, he just really would not. I couldn't nail him down on a couple of issues, and he just did not seem to generate the kind of gains that I felt like should be gained. And, just looking over his past performance. And so I just decided that he probably wasn't the guy for me. He probably worked out just perfectly fine for some people. He just did not work out for me. And that was great. So there's a couple of things about the life insurance policy that I think that especially young people. So if you're young, and I know you're not generally specific, but if you are young, if you're 25, right, and you're getting into a career, I think you need to start with $1 million, $2 million policy and pay that shit off. Now, here's the thing. If you die, then obviously your family gets a death benefits, your funerals are taken care of, all that kind of stuff. That's great, wonderful. That's perfect. Once that policy is fully funded and you can borrow against it and you can do all of these other financial tricks with it, that's great. The real thing is that after you retire, and now you don't really need that life insurance policy because you don't have a family to support anymore. You're not worried about if your kids are going to go hungry because they're grown and they're gone. But when you are, and so now what you're really worried about is, you want to live pretty comfortably and you want to be able to do things. And so a good life insurance policy that you can take payments out of, still basically have the same payout value once it's fully funded. It can pay you, $100,000 a year, $130,000 a year through your insurance policy, and you can live very comfortably. So it's a very, but you have to get the right insurance guy. You have to talk to the right people. My wife knows a lot more about this than I do. I really don't care about insurance that much, but she's made quite a study of it. As a matter of fact, I think she's now licensed to do that. I don't know, but I tend to not know that much about it. Although I should, and I probably will. I just don't. So let me get some other people here. But yeah, I mean, I think that people think about life insurance in a very interesting way. So let's see what we got here. Private pension fund is well managed. Yeah, you got to plan for that retirement. You got to plan for getting old. Right. Yeah, you can get life insurance really low. So let's say that you have let's say you buy $1 million policy for $50,000 or $60,000 paid over 20 years, right? Like that's a reasonable monthly payment on your insurance. And it's probably cheaper than your car insurance at that point. And it'll pay you out a lot. So, it's just, again, it's boring stuff to talk about, but it is what it is. Yeah. All right. So does anybody have any burning topics or questions that they would like answered while I'm here? Oh, okay. I got you, Robert. Cool. No burning questions? Nothing great? Nothing big going on? Jesus is your life insurance. I like it. A great life lesson. I don't know. That's an interesting one. Joshua Wolf, I don't know that I have a great life lesson. I have many life lessons. I've had a very interesting time, but I don't know that I have a specific life lesson to share. All right, Stepfire, man. Enjoy your job. Cheeks, the only person here that's a liberal is you're like half liberal. You're like look, guys. Cheeks is a liberal from the waist down because he likes like women too much. He likes too many women, which is too much. Yeah, sure you are. Soft boy era. You're doing Uber, bro? Uber's a tough gig, man. The most profound happening in my life. So that's a tough one to answer. That's a tough one to answer. Probably the most profound thing that ever happened to me was when I was in military school and realizing that even though I was very poor, that I had gotten there because, that of my ability to, I guess, answer questions right on test, to be honest with you. And it's probably in military school when I figured out that what real true toughness was, what real grit and determination is. And there were so many different things that went on there that one of the reasons I'm going to sidebar here for a second. So one of the reasons I'm so against public schools is when I was in military school, I had I went in with kind of an attitude. I went in with, because at that point I was pretty smart. I didn't really need to study for anything. I didn't have to do anything. And at the end of the day, I just kind of coasted through school. I never had, I never really had any like problems in school. So when I went to military school, I went on a scholarship, right? Like I didn't have, my parents didn't have any money, and I certainly had no money. So I had to go based purely on performance. So when I got there, everybody else, a lot of the people that were there were because they had money. They could afford to be there. Their parents could afford to have them there. That a lot of them had gotten kicked out of other schools, and this was like their last gasp, right? Was to perform it, and the last hope that their parents had of them being able to go to college, get good grades, all that kind of shit. But for me, it was like the best thing ever. All of a sudden, we're all on an equal footing. It didn't matter how much money they had. It didn't matter how much anything they had, because we were all as the way the instructors and everything were. It was strictly performance based, and I could perform, and that gave me a lot of stuff. And I grew into a self-confidence model, which I jokingly call supreme self-confidence, because that's what I was accused of having the entire time. The entire last year I was in military school. I was accused of having supreme self-confidence because I literally didn't think there was anything I couldn't do. I still to this day think that there are very few things I can't do. And I just have it's very difficult to push me in any direction or put me down or make me feel defeated or anything else. And then going into racing in my career, that was really good to have. But I bolstered that even more. I mean, I had cars, smash into walls, and a lot of people would have walked away from that crying or feeling defeated or angry or whatever. But I was just like, yeah, okay, we got to go build a car. Got to go build another one. I have an interesting story, which I I don't know that any current military people can identify with, but older guys probably can. So, my military school is run as a military group, and we were divided into 10-man teams or 10-boy teams, and we lived together, we worked together, we did everything together. Literally, everybody had to perform. If one guy didn't perform, you all sucked it up, and it was you were in, yeah, okay, I get you, Chiefs. And it was an interesting dynamic. And I remember we had a new guy come in, and at that time I was the leader. I was the leader of my team, and I tried the best I could to square this guy away, and he just would not. He just didn't get it. I'd only been there like a week or so, but he just didn't get it. And so one of the things is we had what we called field day every week, and so you had to field day your sleeping area. That wasn't really barracks, but you could call it that. But basically, you had to field day the bay where we slept, and then you had to field day whatever you're responsible for the week, whether it was a shower house, the kitchen, whatever. You were responsible for field daying one of the school buildings, right? Classrooms, whatever. So, this kid, he just didn't get it. And one of the things, and look, you guys have been, that have lived out of a Foot Locker know that like there's a very specific way that has to be put together, right? Like socks, navy rolled, your underwear is navy rolled, everything is navy rolled or whatever, and it's got to be in a specific place. If you have books, they have to be in a specific place. You have a Bible, it has to be in a specific place. All of your hygiene gear has to be in a specific place. It all has to be basically the same. It all has to be in there in order, pretty much exactly right. Well, this kid didn't really pay attention, and he had shit out of order. So I remember that, and he had kind of an attitude anyway. So I remember McCormick was coming through he was a retired Army guy, and he was one of the actual staff. So he's doing the field day inspection, and he opens the Foot Locker, and I forget what was out of place. I forget what it was. It was, like, I don't know, whatever it was. Anyway, so the end result ended up being that McCormick took all of our Foot Lockers and threw them down 2 flights of stairs. So you can imagine how this goes down. Like we're all standing there at the end of our racks, Foot Lockers flying over the stair railing down 2 flights of stairs. And then we had to go get all our stuff, put it all back together, do it again. And this dude was literally crying about it. Like literally crying about it. And couldn't he just couldn't believe that had actually happened. And I just went down and I got all my shit, put it back, I threw it in my Foot Locker, I drug it back upstairs and put it all back together. Yeah, sure, we were just boys, right? Yeah. I didn't fucking cry. Not even a little bit. I just went down and got my shit, put it back there. And everybody else did too. And this kid is literally like bawling his eyes out that all his shit just got thrown over the fucking railing. Right. And it was tough, man. And then I remember he got in trouble for something else. And he had to run laps around the field every day after lunch, or pardon me, before lunch. Before he could eat lunch, he had to run laps around this field, and it was terrible. I mean, it was just really, it was really good. So that's one of the reasons why I just don't. it takes a lot to push me off base, especially with normal people. Now, my wife can because, you know, she's my wife, but normal people, it takes a lot to really push me off base because I just don't give a shit. Right. Like you can tear my entire world down and I'll just build it right back up again. So, there's no, so I guess, I don't know, generally specific, if that answers my most profound happenings, but hopefully that answers your question. I think that's the biggest thing. So I'll answer this too. And then I got some other stuff I need to answer. I don't want to like get monopolized by one person. What are my thoughts on the importance of college university education, given the old indoctrination theory or odd indoctrination theory, vocational versus. So look, here's my theory. I've said this many times. I've said this many times. I don't think college is worth shit anymore. My wife and I fight about this a little bit because she is an education person. However, I believe that you can get more done and make as much money going into a trade or learning a skill and being really fucking good at it. Even if it's not a traditional trade. One of my really good friends is he works in computers. Mostly he does server stuff, network admin, system admin, that kind of thing. Makes a lot of fucking money. He's been doing a very, very long time. He went to college and he basically, all he wanted to do when he was at college was play soccer. And so he never went to class. So he failed out of his first year of college and he came home and he's like, what up? You know, his parents are like, what are you going to do with your life? All this kind of shit. And he said, well, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this new computer course. And so he started taking courses and he was really good at it. He was very good at computers. He could, in theory, at that point in time, it was difficult to build a computer and he could actually do that. And he became he started working with various server companies around the Nashville area. And he's been doing it ever since. And this guy doesn't read nonfiction. He literally will sit down with the Microsoft manual, the one that's like this fucking thick, and he'll just read it. And he's badass. He's a cool dude. And I believe that, if more people were like him, they'd probably be better off. He did not get a college degree. I do not believe that you need a college degree to be successful. As a matter of fact, I think in some cases it's probably preferable to not waste a bunch of fucking money going to college. Midnight Newton, I did not hear about the citywide blackout in Paris. The only thing that had electricity was their church. Awesome. I appreciate about that. And I'm also sorry to hear about your Uber issues. I get that deal. Beaten Cheeks, I know that you've been in the military. But that's okay. The one big thing about anything, guys, is I don't know anybody that's had an easy life that has had really great success to the point where they really they really enjoyed their life. So if you're a normal person, you go to work every day, you come home every night, you just do whatever you got to do. It's no big deal. That's awesome. For a lot of people, a lot of people in this country are 9 meals from starvation, right? Or not starvation, but, from being in serious trouble because they don't have enough food in their house. A lot of people in this country, if they lost their job, they have maybe a month, maybe 2, but no more than 90 days before they are in serious financial trouble and borrowing money from everybody and really getting on the system, really. So I may have to take this. Give me one moment. Apologies about that, guys. I actually had to take that one. That one was important. All right. So where was I? I forgot. Doesn't matter. Sorry, guys. I forgot where I was, and that is the end of that. All right. What were you talking about, Kevin? Help me out. I just think people need to have a lot more self-confidence. They need to believe in themselves and their abilities. And if that means you need to go take a class to bolster your self-confidence or whatever the fuck it is, get into it, right? Like, just do it. People living paycheck to paycheck. Yeah, absolutely. People have been living paycheck to paycheck for a very long time. When I was in college, and that was a very long time ago, people said the same. It was the same thing, exactly the same thing. As most people are 2 weeks away from being homeless, right? So that's it's not something else. But look, you guys you have to develop. And look, this goes for men and women, especially men, but also women. You have to have absolute self-confidence in what you can and cannot do. You have to know your limitations and be able to say, nope, I can't do that. I'm not going to risk the damage, right? Or I'm not going to risk it because I know I can't do it. But you should also know exactly what you're capable of. And that means having the confidence in 98, I drove from Nashville, Tennessee to Lake Tahoe, California. I did not have a job in line. I just had a bunch of money from my savings. I drove across country with a buddy of mine. I moved out to Lake Tahoe. I lived there for about 2 years. I was successful. I did have a job. And it was one of those, again, I just had the self-confidence that no matter what happened, it was going to be okay. Win or lose, it was going to be okay. And, but I know people that will not even leave town because what if my car breaks down? What if the job I want isn't going to be there? What if it gets people so much, and you have to get past it in your life if you're going to really be like successful, right? Like and this is something that should come naturally to humans, right? Like our ancestors drove wagons across the plains. They sailed on ships that didn't have, like, we won't get on a boat today without GPS. Think about getting onto a ship with people you don't know into seas that are barely charted, and there's nobody coming to save your ass if something happens. Think about the balls that takes, and tell me why we can't be the same way. I got to be honest, guys. My phone is blowing up today. They're just going to have to fucking wait. I don't know who that is, but I'm not stopping my show again. They can wait a couple hours. Yeah, calculated risk, sometimes just our risk. So I just really think that we have to, as human beings, we need to quit listening to people tell us, well, this might kill you. Everything will fucking kill you. Water will kill you. Air will kill you. Everything will fucking kill you. Get over it. Live your life. Go do great things. So anyway, so there we go. You're too chicken to get on a boat. Yeah, hey, I know people that won't get on a boat. I know people that will not fly. My wife, my wife's not afraid of it. I think she's just not interested in it. But my wife doesn't have any interest in small airplanes. Like, I'm like, I love to fly. Like, there's nothing I like better than being up in an airplane. Well, maybe riding my boat around, or there's a lot of shit that I like, but I enjoy it. My wife will not get in a small airplane. Yeah. Literally everything kills you. Literally everything. The sun will kill you. The water will kill you. The cold will kill you. The heat will kill you. Everything kills you. You know what keeps you alive is you. Being able to understand to put on fucking clothes. Or stay out of the sun. Or stay out, build a fire to keep warm. You as human beings, the people that are listening to this right now, are what keep you alive. It's that simple. Everything will kill you. Time, water, sun, heat, cold, everything. Yeah. Creating cancer. So I'm a weak joke. I'm not a weak anything, Frank White. Is that you, Jack? Is Jack Frank White? Jack, you got to come in and quit. You can't come in and Spurgeon, man. All right, midnight, new time. Go back to work, man. Go make some money. Go make some money. So, but yeah, it's it's just you. I mean, you are what keeps you alive. Other people don't keep you alive. The government doesn't keep you alive. You, the person you look at in the mirror, if you dare to look at the mirror in the morning, that's who keeps you alive. The decisions you make. They're also, and I have this saying that I haven't said it in a while online, or on stream, but fear is the spare change that will keep you broke. Being afraid, living in fear, not having this confidence to go do what you're supposed to do, or what you need to do, or what you truly want to do, not having that confidence is what keeps you broke. It's what keeps you from accelerating. It's what keeps you from excelling in whatever you do. It's what keeps you from even being able to do what it is you should be doing sometimes. And that's just that's just the facts. Like, I'm not trying to hurt anybody's feelings here. I'm not really trying to make you feel bad. If you do, I'm sorry. I'm just talking about simple realities. If you carry that fear around in your pocket like that lucky coin, it's not fucking lucky. Fear is a spare change that keeps you broke, keeps you from doing the great things in life. We're all meant to do great things. Every single person. I've never met somebody that wasn't meant to do great things. Never once. God in the Bible tells you you're meant to do great things. You have to do it. I can't do it. Can't do it for you. Mr. Boulay can't do it for you. I can tell you, hey, this is what I see going on in the financial world, and this is some information that you might be able to use. You have to be able to look at it and say, well, this is something to think about, but it's not for me. Or maybe it is for me. Nobody can tell you that. And this is one of the things this is the thing that our government and our education system has actually pushed on us. It's really bad. It's really, really bad. You can't do that. You just can't do it. Separate yourself from that fear. Separate yourself from the lack of confidence, or however you want to view it. And I'm using a bunch of different terms, but I'm saying the same thing. I'm using a bunch of different terms because a lot of people use a bunch of different fucking excuses. A lot of people want to say, well, I can't do it because I'm poor. A lot of people say I can't do it because I have too much to risk. I'm too rich. I'm too wealthy. If I do this, I might lose money. I might lose my life. Okay, maybe. I don't know. A lot of people never do anything to better their life. Ever. I'm too fat. I'm too skinny. People just see me as a muscle-bound oaf. I'm too short. I'm too tall. My dick is too big. My dick is too small. Whatever it is, stop it. Just knock that shit out. Just do it. Just don't do that. And when shit happens, just get the fuck over it and move on. Suck it up and drive on. Right? You fall down. So the fuck what? I understand that a lot of people that are listening to the sound of my voice right now, maybe not in the chat right now, but that will listen to it in a recording. A lot of people are going to say, well, when I fell down or no, they probably actually won't say it. They'll think back to when they fell down in kindergarten or fell down on the playground and the teacher came over and told them how sad they were and what a poor little baby they were. And, go sit down and, don't run like that again. You might fall. And so what'd you do? You never ran like that again. But maybe you should have. Maybe you only fell because you didn't know how to fucking do it and you needed to learn how to do it. Maybe that's it. I don't know. I'm not you. I can't be you. I don't want to be you. I want to be me. I'd rather be me than anyone else. My number one thing in life is I'd rather be me than anyone else I've ever met. I've never met somebody where I was like, man, I'd love to be that guy. Because I'd rather be me. I enjoy being me. In our lives today, we do not train ourselves how to fail, get back up, and fucking do it again. And sometimes fail 100 times. The quote from Thomas Edison regarding the light bulb is amazing. You should go look it up and read it. Somebody asked a question. I saw it. I don't know who it was. I'm going to change something. I'm going to change trajectories here. And I think it was Mr. Boulay was asking me something about my channel and if I was going to incorporate it or something. Fuck, I don't know. What did you ask me, Mr. Boulay? Can you hit me back on that? Because I think it was you was asking me something about the stream and what I have plans for it and that kind of shit. We got some pretty cool cheesy quotes out there. I really like it. There's also the other extreme where people just live totally hedonistic, is I think what you were looking to say. Hedonistic lives, though, we still need some fear, don't you think? Well, for hedonist, I think the fear would be God. And yes, I believe we do need God. And I do believe that we need a good, healthy fear of many things. I have a good, healthy fear of falling out of my airplane. That's why I latch the door and wear my seatbelt. That doesn't keep me from flying my airplane. I have a good, healthy fear of being shot. That's why if I'm going to be in a situation where I might be able to get shot, I do that. I do the best thing I can to avoid that. I generically always go armed. I am currently armed, as a matter of fact. I can't show it to you because reasons, but I'm not only am I armed, there's one there. There's another one on the backside over here, So yeah, I mean, a good, healthy fear is fine. But a fear of failure is not fine. I can have a good, healthy fear of many things. I have a good, healthy fear of wild fucking bears. I have a good, healthy fear. I do not want to encounter wild fucking bears. That doesn't keep me from going in the woods. I also have a good, healthy fear of rattlesnakes, but that didn't stop me from killing one and eating it when the motherfucker tried to bite me. Because that's what happens. You fuck with me, may not make it through. Mr. Boulay, did you remember what you were talking about? You asked me a question. I'm pretty sure it was you. Something about turning this into a business or something. Daria, and by the way, I'm not being critical of you. I'm just answering your question as best I can. It is actually a good thing to have a good, healthy fear of things. But fear of falling down is dumb. You are going to fall down. Fear of falling off a building and therefore not using proper safety equipment, that's probably not smart. As my channel grows, will it reach a point you'll turn it into a business, an LLC, for example? Actually, I was thinking about that today because right now is probably when I should lock it in. I actually have an LLC. It's already under an LLC. But what I really should do is actually physically lock it into the LLC, create a bunch of bank accounts and things like of that nature, just for that LLC, and lock it into a business. Not because I think I'd get sued or anything, but just for tax purposes and things like that. That's all admin stuff. And yeah, I mean, my point of view on doing this is like anything else. It takes time away from the things that I enjoy to do and my family, and therefore at some point it needs to make me money, and that's just the way it is, the way it has to be. So, but yes, thank you for the question. That was a good question. Yes, fear of God is the beginning of wisdom, but it's also if you're, for hedonist, so hedonism is an interesting thing. It's really not within the realm of this show, but I'll touch on it briefly, and then maybe we'll do something this weekend, or maybe we'll do something Wednesday night on the evening show. The thing about hedonism in your life, hedonism is an expression, in my opinion, of gluttony, and therefore it's a sin in and of itself. But I don't know if there's anything to be afraid of with hedonism. I don't know that there's anything to be afraid of in gluttony, right? Other than, that you're living everything to excess, you're doing everything to excess. I believe that I can agree with that flow state as a response to desperation, right? Yeah, I mean, they overcompensate, right? So it's, and whether it's, you're being hedonistic in sex or drugs, or you're, there are people that there are various forms of hedonism. So I think it's really that you're substituting these acts for like gluttony of food or whatever, and it's really an interesting dynamic, and really kind of outside the scope of this specific show, because normally the Dayshift is mostly financial and political kind of thing, but hedonism it's multifaceted. Ultimately, I believe that hedonism is a group, it's not really a grouping. Hedonism is to avail yourself of many sins, gluttony being I think the largest. So I just wouldn't don't know how far I can go down that path cleanly, because I'm really not qualified to speak on that. So Anson is pretty close here. Hedonism's overcompensation is caused by the self-lies required when acting in pride. I would actually also say that when you're acting in acting out of pity or shame as well. If you are ashamed of something, a lot of people who are ashamed of who they are and lack the internal self-confidence and backbone to be who they want to be, who they want to be, turn to hedonism as that overcompensation, not just pride. But yeah, I think that you're pretty accurate there. So yeah. Thanks, Flow State, for watching the show and watching the replay too. The replay should be really good. It's Andrew was on earlier. Not that matters, but it is. Beefy Cheeks, yeah. So Beaten Cheeks is I don't know that I think he likes to talk a lot about it, but I don't know that he's actually a hedonist. So, but he definitely does need to get something solid in his life. And hedonism's a lack of so years ago we would have said that hedonists lack moral compass, right? Even though they often make claims to some form of morality that is odd and doesn't actually exist. I don't think that they really have that. Actually, I think that people love to write it in a way that it does, but I don't believe that hedonists can do that. And yeah, it's an interesting dynamic. So I do not watch Jesse Lee Peterson. I actually don't watch a lot of anything, to be honest with you. I watch a lot of news and pay a lot of attention to things. Welcome back, Michelle. Do you have a comment on hedonism? You might. I don't know. So, yeah. Indeed. Good stuff. Yeah. So hedonists are interesting people, I think. It's and I've met several different types. I've met the types that are true hedonists that just have almost in truth have almost no moral code, but claim that they have a moral code. Interesting. Are those birds, Michelle? Like catching up on the chat, and it's pretty interesting. Pretty darn interesting. Or do you consider yourself a hedonist, Michelle? Mister, I don't disagree that we are in a holy war. I wouldn't say that we are in a holy war. Okay, let me look at it. You have morals, but I don't think you need to be religious to have them. So this is where I kind of get into like the, nitpicky a little bit, and would say that you have ethics, which can be defined, but morality tends to need to come from God or some interpretation of God. But you were religious at one point, so maybe you still have those. As a result of learning it through religion. So yeah, you need religion to justify them, right? Thank you, Stepfire. We're distracting Stepfire from work today. Somebody had a birthday. I'm sure it's Michelle. That's interesting, Felix. It's very interesting. I'll have to dwell on it. I'll dwell on it. Maybe I'll come back to that. I don't know if I'm going to be. So I'm going to have to dwell on that one a little bit. Yeah, I haven't shaved. I need to shave. I look old when I don't shave because you can see the white coming through. So, gotta shave. So, gotta shave, guys, at some point. All right. Good stuff today, guys. Really good. Happy to see everybody out there, and a lot of good conversation. Glad Andrew came on. Andrew came on, which was great. We're getting into the last hour of the program here, and what I like to do is I like to open up to callers. If you want to jump up, ask a question, much like I don't really want to do a pardon me. I'm not going to do a panel. It won't be a lot of discussion, but if you just have something that you maybe want to pick a bone about, or maybe you have something to express, that about something I've talked about today, or you just want some clarification, justification, whatever. If you want to call in, make yourselves known to Mr. Boulay, who has a code, or one of the other mods who can get the code from Mr. Boulay. And we'll try and get a few callers lined up here as I start to wind down the show, and hopefully we'll have some really good conversation. It does not have to be about the topics today. If you've seen something in the news or the whatever, and you want to talk about that for just a minute, just ask some questions, that would be great. You're welcome to do so. And other than that, it's pretty good. So go ahead and start reaching out to the moderators, and we'll get that stuff going. So yeah. The AI fake videos, I already talked about those, Cola. It's going to be an interesting election with the number of AI issues already happening, and we're getting there, getting closer and closer to this stuff. And we'll see what's going on. Also, Jess, I saw you out there. I'm glad to see you in the glad to see you in the chat. Happy to see you around. So, and while I'm doing this, I don't know if anybody's live now or going to be, but I would like to be able to redirect you guys to somebody that's interesting today. So if you know somebody on that or a show that will be online in the next hour, please let me know, and we'll get it going on. Jim Bob's on right now. Throw me a link. I need a link. Sorry, D. Who's D? Damien, maybe? Oh, that's cool. Welcome, Clover Tack. How are you today?
What's up, man?
Not much, man. Just having a good show. Just trying to start my day off right. Start my week off right. How about?
I've been hearing. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to talk about something.
What do you got?
Real quick. So Glenn has had, obviously Glenn's had Thor on. You had a little thing with him the other night too.
Yep.
And so I kind of got to thinking about something with this whole masculine trait list and everything else that he was discussing. And I was going to discuss it there, and then I don't know if you were watching or not, but they had a lady come on that was pretty distraught. And I kind of throwed
when was
that
this?
whole, like last night or night before. Was it last night? Maybe it was last night.
So when I signed off on the show the other night, that was the last time I touched my computer.
Yeah. Yeah, it was interesting. I mean, the lady definitely needed help. I felt for her, but anyway. So I was, and I'm going somewhere with this. So bear with me. But
yeah, man.
Wealth and prosperity.
Mm-hmm.
So what's the difference between wealth and prosperity?
Well, wealth. Well, depends on how you define wealth, because I would say they're basically the same thing.
Exactly. Right.
I don't see any difference, because if you argue that wealth is having your health, having a successful life, having enough to do all that you want to do,
right,
and not lacking in anything,
right,
then that's wealth. And you could say that is exactly the same as prosperity. As a matter of fact, you should actually say
so not lacking as far as need. Like want is out the window. That's a totally different thing, correct?
Yeah. We're not talking about, that you have a Lamborghini in a garage or some shit like that.
Yeah. Right. So that's kind of where I come down. It's kind of where I come down as well. But and I may have totally misunderstood, and I may have taken something out of context. So if anybody out there decides they're going to be an asshole, try to start some trouble, I'm just going to caveat by saying that, right? But he said something to the effect of, at least I thought, something about that, the whole masculine trait thing, you need to be prosperous because that allows you to solve problems or something along those lines. Right? And I'm paraphrasing. I don't remember exactly or whatever. And so I'm wondering, can there be a substitution for that within the specific context of solving problems? Do you necessarily need prosperity or wealth, if you're looking at them as the same thing, to be able to solve problems? Wouldn't knowledge and education potentially afford you that ability? And would not networking and contacts also, I guess, social proof in a way, afford you the ability to do that? In other words, if I'm rich, I can hire whoever I want to do whatever I need done. But I can also do that if I'm educated, experienced, and skilled, right? And I can also do that if I've got somebody within my circle that is, in other words, I don't have to be rich as long as I've got somebody to hire somebody to do that, as long as I've got somebody within my circle of friends or contacts, right? Because
Yeah.
obviously they're going to be, it'll be a you scratch my back, I scratch yours favor type barter or something along those lines.
Sure. Yeah, I think it's an interesting concept. I guess it's interesting. I can't because I wouldn't separate material and emotional success. I would say they're the same thing. That's just me. I'm sure that there are other people out there who would disagree, probably maybe even strongly, but that's just what I think.
Yeah.
So, but I think that you can talk about being rich versus being wealthy. I think that's a more standard conversation to have, or being rich versus being prosperous. I think I think those are easier, or not, maybe not easier, but more common conversations to have. If that
Well, I
makes
mean,
sense.
it's obvious rich is not required.
Mm-hmm.
And if we're talking in the context of being masculine, and if we're talking about even
Mm-hmm.
in the context of relationships and long lasting relationships, look at generations past that were absolute tough son bitches. They were not rich. Like, think of the, daylight till dark. I mean, working constantly to take care of the, many had jobs and then worked fields or livestock or farms or other things to make ends meet. They weren't wealthy, or
Right.
they weren't rich by any stretch of the imagination. But
Mm-hmm.
no one would dare fucking say that they weren't masculine men, right?
Yeah, right. So and this is actually something that I don't like to get into a discussion about too much, because I mean, let's just, those that live in glass houses, right, shouldn't throw rocks. But I'm gonna throw a rock on this one, because some of the happiest people I know are poor. And so I don't know, and some of the most masculine men I know work for very low wages and have very little uh and actually want very little material goods.
I would go
I
as
actually have
far
a
as
really
even
good
add some of the
eh,
most stable relationships I've seen are
sure.
folks that are very lower middle
Struggling.
class or
Right. Yeah.
below the poverty line. Yeah.
Yeah, what you would call struggling, right?
Struggling. Yeah.
Yeah,
Exactly.
I have, and I think it's a uniquely Western perspective. And let me throw this out there, right? So when I was in I think it was the second time maybe it was the first time I was in China, and I was with my wife and her mom a lot, because I can't speak Chinese, so I have to pretty much go wherever they want to go. And I remember I saw this guy on basically a tricycle, right? It's like a bicycle, but it's a tricycle. It's got like a little platform on the back of it behind the seat, and it was it's like a delivery bike, right? And I watched this guy, like, when we were leaving and coming and go or whatever, and going from where their apartment was, I'd see this guy riding by, and I asked my wife about it, and that's how they deliver the Cokes to restaurants. I would see him drive by, like ride by with nothing, okay, and then like later in the day he would ride by and it'd be stacked up over his head with cases of canned soda, Coca-Cola. So the streets are so narrow there that they can't use trucks to get to all of these little like one room sandwich shop. Well, we would say maybe a sandwich shop, lunch room, lunch bar or whatever. All of these little hole in the wall restaurants. And so they deliver a lot of these guys deliver on bicycles, and basically they're not employed by the warehouse at all. They just go by, they buy a bunch of sodas and they go sell them to the restaurant, right? It's like free enterprise. And this guy, I got to be honest with you, he was just about like, I never saw him unhappy. He probably made in a month about $80 US equivalent at that time. Maybe that was a week. I don't know, but it was not much, man. It was not much. And if I had to guess, I mean, obviously I didn't track the guy down. If I had to guess, he probably lived in like a one-room apartment that, where he shared a bathroom with like 10 other guys. If he wasn't married, if he was married, probably, they may have had a small apartment or something, but dude was happy, man. He never rode by without a smile on his face. He'd wave, and I saw this guy like every day for a week,
and had peace, right?
Yeah, and he looked totally at peace, at peace.
Yeah,
and it just like you're gonna call that guy not masculine? This guy's like riding a fucking bicycle with like probably 200 pounds of fucking soda stacked over his head down tiny little streets all day, every day, trip after trip after trip after trip. That dude's actually pretty bald, right? Honestly.
Yeah.
And yet if most people saw him, they wouldn't even look at him twice because he's poor. He's a poor guy.
Right.
And I've said for a long time in the US, we do not know what poor people are. We don't even have poor people. We have people that don't have as much. We do not have poor people. You can't be poor if you have 3 flat screen TVs in your house,
cell phone,
2 cell phone, 2 SUVs, gas cards. You're eating what was that line from that Richmond, north of Richmond? If you weigh 400 pounds, we shouldn't be eating. We should be paying for your chocolate bonbons or whatever the fuck it is. I don't remember the line of the song. It is accurate as fuck. Like, why am I paying for these EBT cards for people to go out and get fatter than me? Like, and I'm fucking fat, dude. Right now, I'm like I'm overweight right now. I'm less overweight than I was, but I mean, why am I paying for this, dude?
Yeah, that gets down a different road than the conversation. What I will say to that is you've never been as fucking pissed off as you can possibly be until you're behind somebody in line that has, and you're buying macaroni and cheese and ramen noodles, and they've got literal fucking steaks, and they pay for it with an EBT card.
The card is overflowing.
No, yes, and you make a statement about, wow, I'm going to come over to your house, look like you're going to be grilling steaks, and they tell you that's for their dogs.
Oh, that would piss me the fuck off.
Exactly.
That would piss me the fuck off.
But anyway.
And especially if they pulled out an EBT card to pay for it.
Oh, they did. Yeah.
Oh, fuck yeah.
That's the point. Yeah.
Yeah, that would piss me off so much. And that's
that's tons of stories like that. But yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, and that's that. So are they more wealthy than you because they have?
I don't think so. Right. Because I think
I wouldn't think so
morally. Either. I think they're morally bankrupt, if nothing else. Right?
Absolutely corrupt.
So and that's why I asked that question, is because we always hear that. We hear the morally bankrupt phrase, or at least I have. Like, oh man, they're morally bankrupt. Why are you using the term morally bankrupt? Well, that means it's got to mean there's more to prosperity and wealth than money in the bank or liquid assets or whatever.
Yeah, and I don't. I guess I just don't actually buy into the idea that you must be X right? Like I don't get
Well,
it.
I think there's trade-offs, and that's what I was saying. I think there's trade-offs
Sure.
because I do believe that to be masculine, we are charged with taking care of shit, right? We're charged with getting shit done, and
Yeah,
you have to have certain ambition, will, skill sets, certain things to get stuff done, but there's multiple ways to get anything done, right? Like
yeah.
there's more than one way to do pretty much anything you could possibly want to do on the planet. There's more than one way to do it. And I think that's where the issue comes in is in modernity anyway. It's about, you got to have all this money to take care of these to be able to take care of shit. It's like, I don't know about that.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know how deep I want to get into it right now, but because we're kind of wrapping up, and I want to do. I'm hoping that we'll get some other callers up. But, so have you ever?
I'm ready. I'll step down if somebody.
I know. I got one more thing.
I wasn't looking to
this masculine thing is interesting to me, and I don't want to get into it with anyone over. So I'm very selective about who I put this out to. But so I know a lot. I mean, a lot of like tier 1 or near tier 1 dudes. It's just who I'm around all the time, right? And it's in a non-military manner, so they don't give a shit about talking to me as a human. They are some of the quietest, normal people I've ever met. And you want to talk about absolutely masculine men? These guys jump out of fucking helicopters on a rope, right? like they're literally just super badass dudes. I was talking to one of them, and he actually broke his back on a mission, and broke it, and he got that kind of fixed enough that he could perform. This dude was like living on ibuprofen, like he just chewed that shit like candy. And then he got blown up, and he had shrapnel all through his leg. They got most of it out, but I don't know if they missed some or something happened where it got super infected or whatever. And he didn't say anything about it because he didn't want to be taken off of active. And eventually got to the point where he could not even fucking barely walk. Like they forced him to go to medical and get it looked at, and he lost his leg. And he still went back. He's still, I believe that he is still active or partially active today. I think he's doing, they only let him do training stuff now. They don't let him.
Say, obviously in some type of support or training role.
Yeah, he's in a training role now, but dude, he was like, and like if you met the guy, like you'd think, yeah, he's muscular, but he's not like ripped, he's not roided, he's not rich. He's if you met him, you think, he might be like he might be a mechanic, he might be a welder, he might be, there's a lot of things that you'd peg him for other than being a body stacker. Like that dude has a legit body count, like the right kind. and he never talks like some of these other like super masculine men talk about, supposedly masculine men. Like never talks like that. So I agree that it was dumb, Stepfire, to not get help, but you have to understand that the pressure that these guys are on, that if they are not fit to rotate through it, they may not get another chance. So they will do that. I mean, the guys that are really into that, like that's what they do. The amount of shit they'll put up with is crazy. But dude is just he's the nicest guy. And like, I don't know. It's very interesting. So, and have you met Daniel Horner?
I don't guess.
Yeah, you should meet Daniel. He shoots for SIG now. He just won the USPSA multi-gun nationals. Like, he destroyed that shit. And he's helping Lena now too.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Yeah, she destroyed.
Daniel.
Yeah, she destroyed.
I had to go look up a picture. I'm terrible with names.
That's all right.
But yeah,
that dude's another guy that's just like I didn't actually think he was that muscular or anything, and then like that dude is like ridiculously athletic, like ridiculously.
Yeah, he just kind of looks like a little dude.
He does look like a little dude. Like the first time I saw him, I'm like, really? And then you just got to see this guy move. Like, it's crazy.
Yeah.
It's just insane how good he it's I mean, he has literally been called inhuman. Like the shit that he does is just not possible.
Yeah, like the quickness and the coordination.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
And you know, and he's, you know, I mean, all those guys, man, they're, you know, and so actually one of my and then I don't see anybody else coming up, so we'll just keep talking about this. So another guy I shoot with, he does he's involved with the Memorial 3 gun a lot. Mm-hmm. And they're, you know, of course they always do stuff for Gold Stars, and they do they have a lot of they work with the Night Stalker Foundation a lot, things like that. This dude a couple of years ago, maybe 3 years ago, his training evolution was hilarious because he bulked up for one aspect of it, and he looked like fucking Captain America. I mean, this dude had arms, like fucking massive arms. His thighs were probably like 30 inches. Like, this dude was, I mean, just fucking built. And then the next part of his evolution was a lot of running. So he trimmed down, he burned off all that muscle. He got leaned down as much as he could, because you know, for the endurance, you can't, you know, carrying around all that extra muscle isn't good for you. But he had absolute control over his training, to where he would do, like, when he needed to you know, to lift, you know, whatever, 300 pounds or whatever the fuck it was, he could do that. And then he would train completely differently for the next evolution of all the running and shit. It's crazy. It's just crazy. And yeah, it's pretty good. Pretty interesting to me. And none of these guys ever brag about that shit either. Like, they're not like any of the guys that I meet in Red Pill. None of them remind me of any of the guys that I know from any organization. It's just a point that sticks in my head. You know what I mean?
Well, we've had that conversation, and I think it's because that if you're talking about the big names, you know, in RP, then well, you've got a couple. You've got those that are genuine and sincere about it. But at the end of the day, it is a business for them as well, right? I think. And then you've got the bad actors, which, because of the nature of Red Pill, it's going to attract weak men, way more so than strong men. Strong men it may attract for the sake of interest, right? Or relating. But as far as learning and developing, not necessarily so, right? Like, I mean, you don't really learn a lot from Red Pill content, do you? It just more affirms or confirms what you kind of already know and have experienced, right?
Yeah, I don't think I've ever learned anything.
Yeah, I'm the same way. It's like, I always kind of knew that. I didn't really know the terminology, and I didn't really know everything behind it. But yeah, I'm like, yeah, it's 100% my experience. I got it. But I think the vast majority, and that's why you're able to make a living with channels and selling courses in it, is the vast majority are just super weak lazy men that are looking for an easy button, want an easy button. Not to say there's not men that are in the programs that are trying to better themselves and do that. That's not what I'm saying. But I think the majority, and I think that's evident by the amount of money that can be made in it. I think the majority are in there forever, right? Long term, and why would you be in a red pill program for years and years and years? Well, you'd be in there because you're not really putting in the work. You're not really improving yourself, because at some point you improve to the point you don't need that anymore, right? And usually, what I have noticed is that a lot of the ones that do end up changing their lives around go on to create their own courses and start their own channels and just perpetuate that cycle, right?
Yeah.
And like, why not? There's as far as capitalism and a market and the opportunity, it's there. But I think, like I said, I think that you've got bad actors that really put a stain on that particular community or whatever, because that's all they're doing. Like the ripped, rich, rare shit. They're just preying on the weak.
I think the criticism that I would have, if I had one, would be that, unlike the community that I was talking about, there is no self-policing in the RP community, right? So when somebody from the teams, or for who fuck, what is that guy's name? Mr. Ballin. Do you know who Mr. Ballin is?
Nope.
It's like a huge TikToker, and he like
that would be why. Nope.
Yeah, I didn't know who he was either, but he used to be a Navy SEAL. And he was actually in the teams. He was on a team, and he also he did a rotation, and he's been shot at, so he's legit. But he came back and he started doing TikTok videos, and I think he actually did some about his days in the teams, and he literally, I think to this day, he is still not well regarded. Like, it's not like they have a hit on him. I think at one time they had a hit, like they were gonna, if he didn't shut his mouth, they were gonna shut it for him. I think that's gone away, but they're still not particularly pleased about that dude. He's not universally hated anymore, but he's definitely not universally liked anymore. And so they self-police, right? Like, they're like, no, you can't say that shit. Like, don't say that. That's wrong. And that's what I think the RP lacks, is that very few of them will step up and say, no, dumbass, shut the fuck up. That's not what we do. Like, my biggest, and actually it is one of my criticisms, and I brought this up to Thor the other night. I like Thor. I think he's a good guy. I think he means well. I think he's got a lot of experience, all of that. My biggest criticism of Thor, and he accepted that, was that he didn't call out. I didn't see one red pill guy call out Wes Watson for being a douchebag and not representing red pill accurately. Not one. I didn't see one of them step up and say. I didn't see Rollo say. Rollo did it, and he's like, "I know Wes. Wes is a good guy, and this is just kind of how he is, you know."
Well, I didn't with Rollo. He played both sides, and most everybody.
Yeah, right. You saw that. Yeah, he played both sides. I didn't see anybody step up and say, "Wes, shut the fuck up. You're not making us look good." And instead, what I got out of, and you saw what I got out of Thor the other night, which is not bad, and I understand it. Like, look, they understand controversy sells, so that a little bit of controversy with Tate and all those other guys, that was acceptable to them. But at the same time, literally being like super, being a super asshole,
well,
should have been called out by everybody.
It's no different. I agree, and it's no different though. I'm gonna throw an analogy that we see all the time with politics. Mm-hmm. So the Democrats trot out AOC, that runs her mouth, makes no fucking sense, says the stupidest shit. The Republicans trot out Marjorie Taylor Greene, who runs her mouth, doesn't know what the fuck she's talking about half the time, makes no fucking sense. And it's all controversy, and both of them grab headlines, right? They don't send them out because they're representative of where the party actually stands. They don't necessarily. They don't send them out. Obviously, they don't send them out because they're intelligent and they can articulate all the talking points that they need to articulate, or they're persuasive in their manner to be able to convert people. The reason they send them out is to create controversy, to grab headlines, to get people to pay more attention to the party at large and the party platforms at large. They're attention grabbers, right? And so it's the same thing you're talking about in Red Pill, that you have these certain, what I would consider to be bad actors, but because they grab the attention of people, men, and men come in and men spend their money and men gravitate to other programs and whatever the case may be. It's just like I told, I guess it was Thor the other night when I jumped on with them for a minute. Like I don't know how I ended up, but I ended up on that episode of Access Vegas with that Andrew was on. And then, it's been a progression with me from there. Why? Because I don't necessarily, while that got my attention for whatever reason with whatever was going on, like very rarely do I watch Access Vegas anymore, right? And the only reason I really watch whatever is through the watch parties on Andrew's page, or Andrew's channel. But so having, and this is what I told Thor, having those people that have the controversy, I don't necessarily agree with it, but also understand why the good actors would allow the bad actors to do what they do, because that's what brings the people in. And then those people hopefully say, oh, wait a minute, this really isn't my style. Well, the way Wes Watson screams at everybody and talks down to everybody and this, that, and the other. But through that, they find other elements of the Red Pill that are the more laid back elements, like Thor, for example, right? And so they see it as a net. They're looking at the net, right? Not the gross.
Right.
And the net is eventually you get these men that need help. Hopefully you will eventually get them where they need to be.
Yeah, I think the only
ends justify the means, which is dangerous.
Right.
But that's the mentality, I think.
Yeah, I just think that it's like Angel says, no major Red Pill guy called Wes out, and that most of them just said, well, he's rich, so who gives a fuck, and it's just how he is, whatever. And I will agree with Mr. here as well, is that MTG has more balls than half the GOP. I don't know that the party trots her out. I think she trots herself out, and she just says exactly what she's thinking, which sometimes is probably not what she should do, but that's okay. I admire the spunk, as they say. There's some other words for it, but I admire her.
The moxie.
Yeah, I admire the moxie. I actually liked Marjorie. I actually liked MTG until just recently, and she did a thing on it was supposed to be impromptu, but to me it looked staged, and I thought that she went. I understand that you often at times as a politician you have to go over the top. I thought she went over the top when she could have dialed it back just a little bit and been way more effective. But
it's it's definitely a debate, a conversation for another time, because
sure,
not the time today. But anybody that sits there like you just did and said that you don't think that they trot her out, so literally trotting her out, like that's not what I meant. First of all,
I got you.
But
okay,
there are the way that politics is played, and so
yeah. But see, I agree with you on AOC.
Her team is going to get fed a memo. She's going to have some higher up in the party, but I fail to believe for a second that the DNC and the RNC doesn't ultimately have complete control over the vast majority of politicians. that have been in Washington for any length of time, which she has.
Yeah.
Now, when she first started, maybe I would give you that, but there's some type of coercion behind the scenes, manipulation. There's something going on. Like they know full well that she's going to go out and say what she's going to go out and say.
Yeah. I agree with you on AOC. She seems to be very much be controlled by somebody. I don't necessarily agree with MTG. I don't know that anybody could control her. She's like a non-bullet. She's like a.
So I think that AOC,
I agree with in the direction.
So first of all, AOC got where she's got by winning basically an essay contest put on by Silicon Valley bigwigs, right?
Right.
So, I think the difference is, I don't disagree with you, but I think the difference is AOC has got some people pulling the strings outside of the DNC.
Oh yeah.
Where Marjorie Taylor Greene does not. But strings are still being pulled by the committee.
She owes her being elected to.
Yeah, there's political favors. Yeah. There's a lot at play that you have to realize when it comes to politics.
Yeah, absolutely.
So anyway, we went down that road further than I wanted to go, except to say it's a very similar thing. The ends justify the means. Let's grab the attention and we'll trot out whoever we got to do or do whatever we got to do to get the eyes on the, on the group, on the community, on the movement, whatever. And then hopefully things filter themselves out from there.
Yeah, I agree with that. All right. Well, we got about 30 minutes left. I'm going to drop you down and I'm going to talk to Kat for a few minutes here. Kat, how are you today?
Pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing well. I had a great show so far. It was very unprofessional of me. I had to take a phone call earlier that had to do with the insurance on my car. That got hit by a piece of particle board on the highway. So hopefully it'll be done by the end of the week. Maybe not. We'll see. Depends on if parts are available, which they may not be, because that's kind of how that shit works for me. But it'll be fine. How's your dad?
He is doing better.
Doing better is good. Doing better is very good. I hadn't had you on for a little bit because you've been busy with other things. So what's been going on, Kat?
Nothing too interesting. Just dealing with stuff at home, and that's about it.
How was the stream with Damon and whoever the other night?
Well, I mean, another chaos, derailed, but it was fun. Very fun.
Okay. So we're going to talk on Wednesday evening about what happens. So just so you can, put some stuff together, what happens when a guy that's a 5 is dating a girl that is a 5 or maybe even a 4, but she becomes, after they start dating, a 6. Because I actually noticed the other day, I was out with my son actually, and I saw some people I know, and I was like, the dude looks the same. And these are younger people too. These are like a lot younger. Like they're just people I know from shooting. The dude looks the same, but the girl has matured up a little bit. She's now knows how to use makeup. Obviously, they've both been in the gym, but it's working way better for her than for him. She's learned how to dress. She is like, if you saw them together, you're like, what the fuck? If you didn't know they've been together for like 3 years, you'd be like, what the fuck are those two doing together? And so I had the idea for the show. I can't wait to do it. It's going to be fun. So it'll be, and now we're not talking about, older dating younger, but we're talking about basically people in the same age group. What happens when the girl turns pretty and the dude doesn't? So I got some really good really good insight into this stuff, and we're gonna have some fun with that on Wednesday. You guys probably can't hear it, but we're in the middle of yet another rainstorm here because it's hurricane season in the Gulf, and so I get rain at least once a day, and so it's good times for me. Good to be wrapping the show up about this time every day. Anything else, Kat? Anything new, exciting? Have you listened to the show?
A little bit.
Oh, I
Well,
see your tank looks clean. Did you clean your tank?
no,
No. Why does it look nicer?
I don't know.
Maybe it's
Got
just
used to it.
well lit. Yeah, maybe
It's
better
like
lit.
the other one.
Oh yeah, the other one looks dirty too.
My gosh, they're not dirty. They're just overplanted.
Overplanted
Mm-hmm.
because you didn't know what you were doing.
Now I do.
Now you do. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. Thank God I'm not pretty. Yes, that's right. Roland Thorne, thank you. Thank God I'm not pretty.
Why? What's the problem?
Pretty men are a problem, I think.
Oh yeah. I saw somebody was talking about a study. I didn't see the study, but they were just talking about it, saying that pretty dudes that marry less attractive females are the happiest long term. So that's interesting.
Yeah, Mr. Boulay, monsoon season indeed. Yesterday, we were driving down to Huntsville. It literally rained so hard that you could not see. We couldn't do more than about 20 miles an hour because you could not see on the highway. Like everybody literally basically stopped. It was that bad. So monsoon it is. It's good times. But yeah, we'll talk about it in both directions. What happens when one turns pretty? Because that happens, like dudes will start dating a fat girl, and all of a sudden they get in the dude gets into shape. Other chicks start noticing. What happens to Tubby when dude starts, becoming a Chad? It's going to be a great conversation. I look forward to it. It's going to be a great night of conversation. Glad that you're having fun, Kat. Glad that you're having fun with your. Apparently, your stream was at least fun. I saw one comment in the chat that your stream was entertaining.
Yeah, that's why I do it, just to have fun.
Yeah. Well, you've got Teriak there, and he can't be serious. Although I heard that Teriak got his ass handed to him by a liberal the other night, by a fellow UK liberal. So he's probably off licking his wounds somewhere, studying up, getting ready for this coming week.
Yeah. So I think it was Shiva one.
Shiva, yeah. The power of 4 or whatever the fuck it is. The power of 4. What is he? The fucking Fantastic Four? Which one is he?
Maybe. I don't know what that means.
Maybe he's Mr. Fantastic. I don't know. It's interesting stuff. So yeah, it was good times all the way around. The Church of 4. Thank you. I'm sorry. I didn't know what it was. Yeah. I'm sorry. What the fuck is a Church of 4? I'm going to look that up actually. Did you watch the Destiny versus Andrew?
I mean, I don't understand debates and the whole rules and stuff like that. It seems kind of crazy to me. It was annoying. I don't follow them very well, but the whole time I was just staring at Destiny's jaw and trying to figure out what's wrong.
Isn't that great the way he talks like this? So fascinated. You just can't even see every word he's saying.
Yeah, I don't know what's going on.
I can't do that. It's too much meth.
The theories are maybe he's Canadian.
That's funny. Terrence and Phillip. Maybe he's Terrence. We found the lost Terrence. That's funny. There's a 4 Square church. I don't see the Church of 4. Yeah, whatever.
Yep.
That was a great show, Terrence and Phillip. Yeah. You know what was even better was South Park with the Blame Canada.
Yes.
That's the best song ever. Blame Canada. That's right. Meth is a terrible thing. I'm really surprised that Destiny did not like. I'm just so surprised that Destiny's show that his argument wasn't better, and that he kept trying to act like he didn't know what's an internal critique. What are you talking about? I was like, seriously? You're supposed to be the best leftist debater on the planet, bro. And you're getting your ass handed to you on the simplest of debates. So, Canadians blame Canadians. It's a thing. I bet you do. I bet you do. All right. Anybody else want to come up? Anybody have any questions? I'll troll the shit out of Irish. That's funny. Yeah, they've been doing it a long time. The English have a long history of trolling the Irish. Very funny. Anyone? Anyone? Bueller? 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 Anyway. All right. Well, I don't know that I have a whole lot more today. I can always talk, but you thought it's Canada's job to apologize for everyone. So that's true, and that's because they invented the term war crimes in World War II, and they've been making up for it ever since. The French surrendered to everyone. The Canadians apologized to everyone. Everybody knows their job, and America basically, is the big kid on the block. Sends everybody weapons and shit. Should I end early? Should I end 20 minutes early? 18 minutes early. It's documented that it is their fault. It is indeed documented that it is, in fact, wow. Did you guys hear that? That was thunder. It's the thunder. So, yeah. Canadians are the reason why we have the term war crime. Because they didn't want to take prisoners. There's only one thing left to do with them. Yeah, Thunderstruck is right. Yeah, that was actually pretty close. And I was going to go on the lake today, too. I was like, man, I can't wait to get done with this show. I'm going to hit the lake. But probably not now. Maybe in an hour or two when this blows through. So, Kat, are you getting more technologically equipped to do your podcast better and all of that? Are you expanding your game?
Well, I did see somebody had this really cute RGB light up microphone on Speakeasy's thing, and that looked cool.
How is that cool?
It looks cool. It's like all colorful and stuff like that. I like that. Yeah. But my microphone is more expensive, so I don't know how that one's gonna sound.
What microphone do you have?
This.
Oh, you got a blue?
Yeah, I got that one. I also have this one, which is like really good for sound, but it picks up everything in the room. But it's beautiful sounding if you just want like if you're in a very controlled environment and you just want like to sing, or you want to do like something like that. Like that's the best mic for that.
Interesting. Well, good. I'm glad you got your whole setup there.
Oh, have you seen my setup?
No.
Okay, I'm going to show you a picture if I can find one.
My setup changes. I'm about to change my background again. Or my set. I'm changing my set again. I'm changing the I have a teleprompter now. I need to work with it a little bit. It looks like a robot wang. Kind of. Why are you looking at robot wangs? Oh, look at that. That is, you couldn't get more girly than that.
Nope. This is the way.
Your husband's testosterone count drops every time he walks in this room.
Yeah, that's the plan.
That's the plan. Oh, that's terrible, Kat. Why would you do that? Is that one curved monitor? Or is that two monitors on a curved stand?
One ginormous monitor.
Interesting.
Yeah,
I would never enter that room.
That's fine.
That's just a little too much girl stuff going on. It's gross. Gay to the to the 10th power of hell.
They say that, but they're so jealous.
Gay Olympics and very girly. It is. I gotta admit, it is something that I feel like I would see in a gay guy's video.
The luckiest gay guy.
The luckiest gay guy. Did you build your own computer or did you have it built for you?
You know, I tried, but I failed, so I hired some company to do it and make everything pink for me.
Yeah, I tried the SM7B as well because it is supposedly the standard for podcast mics.
Trash.
I don't know if it's trash, but it's picky as fuck. And
I don't like it.
I don't like it. I use a Rode pod mic or a Samsung GMU9 or whatever the fuck it is. The Samsung's fucking badass. I like it a lot, and then I like the Rode pod mic as well. I did both of those because I don't need XLR because I'm not singing, and I didn't want XLR. And that's actually probably my biggest annoyance with the Shure is that it's XLR, so I have to use a cloud lifter to convert it to USB, and that's just kind of gay. So I didn't like that.
Yeah, that's another reason why I don't use this one, because you need all these things. This one is just plug and play. It's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah, there's something to be said for just simple shit, right? Like there's no reason for it to not be simple. So
now, do I have all the extra stuff? Yes, but I got rid of most of it.
Yeah, same. I have and probably I will start using the Shure at some point. The fuck, was that you or me?
Not me.
Interesting. Your Rode NT one. Yeah, that's a good one, I think. Yeah, I don't use the XLR. The XLR is just kind of gay. I am actually going to end the stream, guys. I'm going to end like 10 minutes early here, 12 minutes early. You guys have been great today. Been a really good show. Even prattling on about the equipment. You guys have a great rest of your day. I'm going to send everybody over to Jess's Australian stream. Even though the country doesn't exist, she seems like she does. So you guys have a lot of fun doing that, and we will chat later. I will not do a stream tomorrow. I may do a daytime and a nighttime stream on Wednesday, but don't count on the daytime stream just yet. Watch for the announcement. As always, tell a buddy, bring a friend to the show. The more people that see it, the better I do, and I need to do better. So you guys help me out with that. Hit the like, subscribe, and all that shit on your way out the door, and get off my lawn. You guys got to go away now. See ya.